Hi, Siko. Okay, so firstly, apologies for my first video. It wasn't particularly good. I apologize for that, but I think I'm more comfortable with the software now, and I also know a little bit more specifically exactly what you need. So basically in this video, I'm going to show you how to edit your chemistry course according to what we need on COLLS. So whenever I'm working on COLLS, I like to have sort of 3 tabs open, you can see here. And the first of those I like to have on my staff portal. So you can just click on staff. You can hear my daughter in the background. So if you click on the staff portal and you just scroll down, you'll see at the bottom here the lesson template. Firstly, you can see here, can you see all these links here that Daniel has created? These are all very important to have a look at. Embedding a video, embedding a PowerPoint, hiding a solution, creating links. Do yourself a favor and just watch all of those. You'll see in each of them there is, how to do these various things. So this is how to embed a video with instructions. So it's important to know how to do all of those things in terms of when you come to actually editing your lessons. Okay, so the one that I like to have open when I'm editing a lesson is this lesson template. This is how we expect all of the lessons to look. So you can see at the top here, you've got your unit or topic title, and that is done in heading 1. I'll show you how to do that. And then here we have an image. It should be interesting, it should be engaging, it should have something to do with the topic. So those two are very important in terms of the beginning of the lesson and what the beginning of the lesson needs to look like. Then every lesson should start with these 3 elements here, as you can see: the start your activity, the learning objectives, and the success criteria. So your starter activity is like a little warm-up exercise. It can be a link to previous knowledge. I often for my starters, I say things like think back to the last lesson and note down a few things you can remember, or watch a video, or go online and Google the topic and see what you can find. Remember that Cambridge says that we should hand the learning over to the student, and that's very much the ethos with COLLS, is the sort of flipped classroom environment whereby the learner does the majority of the learning and we simply facilitate the process. So the starter should have all of that in mind. Your learning objectives and your success criteria, I usually have 2 or 3 of those. They should come directly from the syllabus and have, something to do with what the student is learning. Perhaps I'll show you an example from my language course, just so that you can see. Or let's do literature, because I'm quite proud of the lit course at this point. So if we go to, let's go to this lesson here, you'll see I've got my heading, I've got my picture of the Bronte sisters, the starter activity is to read the poem, and then here are my learning objectives: to show detailed knowledge of the content of the poem supported by reference to, oh, there's an error there. Oh, I'm glad I saw that. I will edit that now. To show deeper awareness of the ideas and attitudes expressed within this poem, etc., etc. So you can see that these come very much from what Cambridge expects the student to do, to recognize and appreciate the ways the poet has used language, structure, and form, for example, is an important element of the literature course. Okay, so that's what it should kind of look like. All right, so I would say the first thing that you should do is you want to have a folder on your computer that has all of these images easily accessible and available to you. So what you could start by doing is just save all of these different images. I'll show you, I have my little folder in COLLS with all of those COLLS images there. Okay, so you'll see as you go through this page, we use this icon when we introduce new terms. This we use when we're going to show a video. This we use when we're going to embed a PowerPoint. This is when we're going to have questions. This is when we hide a solution. This is for links to other websites, etc., etc., PDF, Word documents, discussion forum, etc., etc. So essentially, you may just want to do that before we continue, is just to have a folder like I have here with all your COLLS images. And you know, I've got a couple that aren't there. This is what I use for workshops. That's what I use for a YouTube link. This is my revision, etc., etc. So you may just want to create a folder for yourself. You will add to that continually anyway, but you do just want to have all of these images saved. Okay, so let's get into it. So here is your chemistry course. Now, of course, the first thing to do is you see this button in the corner here. We want to turn editing on so that you're able to edit the course. Okay, so now when it's red like that and it asks you, it's got this little thing that always comes up, then you know that you are ready to edit. So the first thing I would advise you to do is just have a look through the introduction. I don't like the word introduction there. I'll take that out now so you can see how it works. So the aims and everything else of the course are taken from the syllabus. Now you can see immediately here, this has just been copied and pasted from the syllabus without a great deal of thought to formatting. So that is one of your sort of jobs as an editor, is to make sure that the formatting, it looks really nice. So why don't we go ahead. Can you see this little, let me go down a little bit more, this little button here that looks like a settings wheel? That is how you will edit this section. So let's click on that, and you will come to a page that looks like this. This is your editing page. Okay, so this is what appears on the course. I've got another tab open next to it just so that we can see, you know, how it looks in the editing mode and how it looks in the edited mode. It's quite useful to have both open at the same time. All right, so once you're in this page, you want to toggle full screen mode with this little button in the corner, because it's just easier to work with full screen. All right, and then you can literally just start editing. So we can see here, obviously this is a bullet point, so why don't we move that? And I've pushed tab there. That's also a bullet point. Okay, I don't like the fact that it looks like a 1 and 2, so I'm going to change those to bullet points. Okay, number 3, blah, blah, blah. Number 3 doesn't have a full stop, so we'll put that in. Okay, we're going to do the same here, and I'm pushing tab, and the same here, and it's gone there by itself, and the same there, and again, and then again, I don't like how that looks, so I'm just going to push. You can see the numbering mode is there, but the bullet point mode is there, so I'm just going to make those into bullet points. Okay, I'm sure you get the idea. I'll leave number 5 and 6 for you to do just for a bit of practice. Okay, then syllabus content at a glance. I think these should have capital letters just to look professional and polished. Candidates study the following topics. I think that needs a colon. Now this part here, obviously I think it would be quite important. I'm not a scientist. I don't teach this at all. So I have no idea what the particular nature of matter is or how that relates to the syllabus. So obviously that's also where you come in as a science teacher, is just to look at the syllabus and make sure that you're happy that it all ties in with what Cambridge expects. Syllabus is available over here, by the way. There it is. 2016 to 2018 syllabus. You can download that and use that just to make sure you know that you're happy with it. So you can see here this number 9 shouldn't be there. It should be there. Okay. This is our normal PowerPoint that we include. I'm not sure that it's been embedded correctly, so if we go back to our front page, this is why it's important to have sort of your editing view and your edited view open. So if we go back up here, you can see that this is a hyperlink. So if I right click on that and open it in a new tab, we are going to get to the source of the PowerPoint. Now, we try to keep all our PowerPoints in SlideShare, simply for the ease of keeping everything, all our resources in one location. So if you want to create a PowerPoint and upload it, you can simply get the information, the login information from Daniel. Okay, so this is covered in your lesson over here, embedding a PowerPoint, but I'm going to show you how to do it because it's pretty simple. So if we go back here, we can see this doesn't really look like it. May be there, I don't know. Maybe I think I'm on secure. So that could be why. But anyway, it's a good opportunity for us to learn. So I'm just going to take that out for now. Now, you're going to be working in HTML mode when you do your embedding. So I like to just put a whole lot of spaces just so that I can see in my HTML mode exactly where I'm going to put my resource. Okay, so if you go back to SlideShare, and if you go down to the bottom, oops, I've gone too far, and you push share, it will come up with all of these links. So you want the embed link, all right? So you copy that link, you go back to your lesson. This button here is to go into HTML mode. So you select HTML mode. Now remember, we put a bunch of spaces to see where we were. So it looks like it's right here. Okay, here's the words before you begin. Okay, so it's here. So we're going to paste. Okay, and then we're going to click update. And there's our PowerPoint. All right, so now let's get rid of these spaces. Okay, let's push this into center, just like Word, align left, align center, align right. So let's center. Let's make sure our reference is also centered. And there you have it, your PowerPoint is in. Okay, so then we carry on with our editing. I think this should be bigger. So I'm going to remove the formatting. This button here just removes any formatting. And I'm going to choose heading 3 for this. Okay, so this is where your headings are. Let me show you again. If you just click on this box over here, you have paragraph, which is your normal writing, and then 6 different heading sizes. So I'm going to go for heading 3, and I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, then again, these you want to just go through the syllabus, make sure that that is all there, and then there's your recommended course book, and that's it. Okay, so once, of course, you've got a couple more things to do in here. Once you're happy, you toggle out of full screen mode, you go down a little bit further, and you click on Save Changes, and that will take you back to where you were. All right, so you can see that already it just looks a little bit better, you know, I think. Okay, so that is what you do at the beginning of the course. So I will leave that to you to go through and, you know, just make it your own. All right, here at the bottom, have we gone out of editing mode? That sometimes happens. Just make sure your editing is always on. Okay, so that should give you a bit of an idea of what's what. Here at the bottom, personally, I don't like having the schemes of work, etc. on the course, but I'm going to leave them there for now because obviously you may well want to have a look. The Cambridge scheme and the COLLS scheme are what you really need to make sure that all your content is being covered as you would want it to be covered. In my opinion, these look a little bit untidy. All right, so if you want to edit a resource, you can see next to each of these resources there is the little button that says edit. So if you click on edit and you click on edit settings, it will take you to another editing page, such as the one I showed you just now. So I just don't like how this is formatted, and this is the sort of thing that you need to do, is just to go through it all and just, you know, look at the little details, like what you saw there where I just removed a couple of things, you know, maybe add a description. This is the Cambridge syllabus for the course. Ensure that you are familiar with it. Okay, that's a little description of what the resource is. This button here will display it on the course page. And then it's also not a bad idea, under activity completion, click show activity is complete when conditions are met, and they must view it in order to complete it. So that means if they don't view the resource, they will have an incomplete activity, which students hate having that. They love to have all their activities complete. So they may not read it, but at least you've ensured that they'll click on it and open it at some point, which is nice. Okay, so you can see that that just makes just a little bit of a difference. Do you know what I mean? It just looks a little bit more polished and professional. So I'll leave the learner guide and the other stuff for you to do if you want to play around with those. But I've done the syllabus for you just as an example of just how to make it look polished. Okay, let's move on to week 1. All right, so your assessment, obviously, exactly as we've done, just go through it. Make sure you're happy with everything. That O needs to be a capital. Just make sure you're happy that this is all off the syllabus. And, you know, format it up, make it look pretty. Here are some examples of past papers. Make sure you're happy with those. And that's it really. So that's your assessment part. That's all the bits at the beginning. Okay, so I would say your first sort of task is just to make sure that all of that beginning stuff just looks good and looks professional, etc. All right, so let's get into week 1. Okay, so week 1 says introduction to scientific method, apparatus, and safety. Now, I immediately don't like the look of this. It's all a bit everywhere. So to make this beginning of the week part look good, just as we did before, we're going to go into edit section. We're going to toggle full screen mode. All right, I think that should be a comma. I don't know, I think that should be a capital I. So our image sizes, we want to keep them between 350 and 500. 500 is the biggest you want to get, but some pictures just look too big at 500. So let's go here. This one looks a little bit small. Okay, let me just show you what I did. So I've selected my image, and this is the insert or edit image tab. So we're going to go there, and we're going to click on appearance. Okay. Let's put this one as 350 and see how it looks. So as you can see, it will automatically adjust the pixels. So you just have to put in this dimension here. Let's put it at 350. Yeah, I think that looks better. I think 500 would start to look a bit stretched. Okay, this looks a bit weird in terms of text. So I'm just going to remove formatting, so that it looks the same as all our other text. And I think I'm just going to center it. Okay. Personally, I wouldn't put that there. Personally, I would put it inside a lesson, but I will leave it up to you to decide. Okay, then we go to our learning objectives. I don't like the colon there. I think that's fine. So you need to just go through these. I'm going to change this all to black because I don't think it looks good with that red in the middle of nowhere. Okay, you can see this is your text color tab. Okay, so you'll need to go through these learning objectives and success criteria and make sure that you agree that they are, you know, what you would teach in the first week. Also notice this looks a bit funny I'm going to take it out of bullet points and I'm going to make it 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do the same here because this looks a bit weird. I'm going to take it off and put it on. But it's still looking a bit weird. Okay, don't know what's going on there. Right. Very strange. Okay, so obviously then it's important for you, just as I've said, to go through those and make sure you're happy. Note that this is in heading 3, this is in heading 3, and your actual objectives and criteria are in, they should be in paragraph, but they don't seem to be. So let's just, oh, you know, right, because there's bold in there. Okay. All right, then you toggle out of full screen mode and you click Save Changes. Okay, looks a little bit better, right? I still think this is a bit text heavy. It's going to be interesting to see if the 2 lessons that are here do, or 3 lessons rather, actually do fulfill these learning objectives and success criteria. That is one of your most important tasks as an editor, is to make sure that, you know, they have gained an insight into the correct use and application of scientific equipment, etc., that they can name the appropriate apparatus, because there's no point in saying all of these things and then it doesn't carry over to the lessons. All right, so let's do a lesson. Okay, so let's go to our edit and our edit settings. Okay. Now, you will see that this lesson is not actually labeled, so we're going to call it lesson 1, lab safety. Okay, and I think we're going to make that a capital. All right, let's keep going. I personally, oh, sorry, Siko, I'm going to have to answer my phone. 1 second. Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Just sorry, my WhatsApp's not going through, just to let you know I'm here.
Wonderful.
Okay, love. You'll let Gail know, hey?
I will.
Okay, darling.
Okay,
talk to you later. Love.
Sorry, my mum's traveling. And I'm not going to start the video again just for that. Okay. I personally don't like the aims to be on the front page, so I'm just going to take all of that off. All right, then we go to the page content and we open up. Okay, so this is what our lesson is called. Is that what it's called up here as well? Okay. So up here it's called lab safety and the use of lab equipment. Okay, well that's fine. How to survive the lab. Now what we need here, as you know from our staff portal, let's go back here. You can see we've got our topic title, but we do not have a picture. All right, one thing I've noticed already here is that there's a lot of different formatting, a lot of missing links. So I think the first thing we're going to do, all right, I'm pushing Control A. That has selected all the content on the page. And I'm pushing the Remove Formatting button. Okay. It's a good place to start when you're editing, just so that you're kind of starting with a clean slate. Okay, so part 1, how to survive the lab. Wonderful. Now we need an image. So this is how I do it. I just type in surviving the laboratory. Let's see what comes up. And let's click on images. Yeah. This one's quite nice. No. That's quite nice. What about this guy? Being all safe. Yeah, well, I'll use this one as an example. All right, so we save this image. Now, of course, I don't have a chemistry folder, but I'll make one quickly. So I just like to save all my images in different folders. So let's just call this IGCSE Chem, and we'll put that in there. All right, so we go back to our page and we click on Insert Edit Image. Okay, then we want to find or upload an image. We're going to choose a file. GCSE Chem. Here's our file, and we're going to upload. Now I notice this is a long image, but let's try it at 500 and let's see how it looks. Lovely. All right, then we're going to center. There's our image. All right. You really shouldn't have an introduction. I'm going to take that out. You'll notice here this starter activity button is not working, so we're going to find or upload an image. We're going to go to COLLS images, and we're going to find, where are you, little clock? There he is. Upload. And you'll see on your lesson template, it tells you what size to make the icon. Okay, appearance 50, insert. There he is. Okay, so now the starter activity seems to want you to watch a video, but there doesn't seem to be a great deal of instruction. Watch the following video, taking note of everything therein that has to do with lab safety. Okay, and I suppose we could put this next to our video icon if we're really adventurous. Okay, that's in heading 3. We don't want it in heading 3. We want it in paragraph. Okay, then we've got our video. This video is very big for some reason. Let's see if I can make it look different. I'm just going to try. So embedding a video is exactly the same as embedding a PowerPoint. I'm just going to see if it makes any difference. Okay, I'm going to try. Nope, exactly the same. Right, so never mind. We'll have the original video. That's not a problem at all. Okay, so there's your video, which your students are going to watch. Always a nice idea to have them do something. So here's the task, make a list of all the safety rules. So let's make that as our starter activity. So let's watch the following video. And is this making sense? Yeah. Okay. And make a list of all the safety rules broken by Mr. Thompson. Okay, that is now a nice little starter activity. All right, let's take this guy out. All right, now I see here, I'm not sure, I think that's supposed to be a PowerPoint icon, and I think there's supposed to be a PowerPoint there. So this is why it's helpful, as we said just now. Let's go into week 1, lesson 1. Okay, and let's go to this PowerPoint. All right, so we know it's going to be a PowerPoint, so let's just delete all of this stuff because it's just not helpful. All right, delete, go up a bit. And here. All right, so here you want your PowerPoint. In fact, let's have our task icon first. So if you go here, you will see your task icon looks like this, and we're using 50/50 icon, and heading 2 is this icon 50/50 appearance. It is not. Make sure the icon is the right size. Go to heading 2 and write the word task. And we're going to say work through the following. You know what we haven't had yet? We haven't had any learning objectives. All right. So let's take these. All right. So so we had a starter activity, but no learning objectives or success criteria. Well, let's fix that. All right, so very important. You can see that these lessons are a bit all over the place. So as we said at the beginning, starter activity, learning objectives, success criteria. Okay, so let's try and fit them here. All right, this looks like I can already see that's the wrong size. 50/50 icon and heading 3. So let's change this to 50. Hi Lexi, say hello Siko.
Hi Siko.
Are you going to teach Siko how to do COLLS?
COLLS.
COLLS, yeah. Okay, so we've changed the learning objectives. This should be called success criteria. Okay. So I can already see this part is something to do with lab safety. So to understand the basics of lab safety can be the first one, and then this one, name to name, appropriate apparatus, that's fine. And then our success criteria, we want to format into paragraph, and let's make it, all right, so I will be familiar with the basics of keeping safe in the lab. What do you need, darling? You want to fall? Here you go. Good girl. Sorry about that. I'll be familiar with the basics of keeping safe in the lab. I can measure. Okay, let's start. Right. Where were we? You can see the process, Siko. It's basically just making it all work. All right, so work through the following PowerPoint. I think what I'd rather have, what was this lesson called again? Lab safety and use of lab equipment. So why don't we do that? Okay, so what if we take this and we put it over here? And we call this lesson what it should be called, which is so I copied that and I pasted it there. I think that looks better, doesn't it? Okay, that's a little bit, see it's coming together. Alright, so if we turn this into heading 2, because you'll see that in your lesson template you've got your headings and your subheadings, etc. Okay, so work through the following PowerPoint to help in your understanding of lab safety. Okay, so then we had opened up this PowerPoint. Shall we have a look at it quickly? Let's see if it has any activities. Okay. Just important to go through the PowerPoint and make sure. There you go. All right. No. Okay. Oopsie. Let's go back. Alright, so we're going to repeat the process that we did before. We're going to click share and we're going to go to the embed code and we're going to copy the embed code. Okay. Make a few spaces so you can see where you are. Toggle HTML. Go up. There's our spaces. And paste. And update. Okay, so there's our task. This task is a bit, I don't know, because there's nothing really happening with it, So, I mean, you could create something here. Shall we create something here? Okay. So let's create something. All right. So work through the following PowerPoint to help on your understanding of lab safety. All right. Then let's create something here. They have to do something because they haven't actually done anything yet, have they? Now, as you know, when we're going to ask a key question or anything like that, we're going to use this icon. So let's go to insert image, find an image. Eventually, you'll have all of your images here under recent files. Yeah, but you'll get there. Okay, now we're going to choose a file. We're going to look for our question mark. There he is. Upload. What is our size? 100. Good appearance. Okay. Make a list of all of the things to keep in mind when being safe in the lab. You can check your answer below. All right, so now they have to engage in some way, which is always a better idea. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to create your answer key. Okay, so obviously you're going to go through the PowerPoint and decide, but let's just look at a couple of things. All right, so let's open a Word document. All right, so number one, I think it said never remove chemicals from the lab. Oh, that was number 10, was it? No food or drink. Should we just go back to, oops, beginning, shall we? Always wear safety equipment. Tie back long hair. No backpacks or purses. Okay, you get the idea. All right, so what we're going to do, I've selected that. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Okay. I'm going to take just your normal snipping tool, which you can, I think it comes standard these days, but you can download it if you need it. You're going to use this quite a lot. Just going to make sure we're still recording. Yeah, we are. Amazing. Okay, so you click on new snip. You snip that, and you save it under, wherever it is that you have decided to save these things. I usually have a folder for each of mine where I just call it snips so that it's easily accessible. Right, so now you've got your answer. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to put in your answer key dude. Here he is. So let's go to our lesson, insert an image. Okay, where is our guy? Here he is. Okay, don't worry about that. It's just that the same image has been used elsewhere, which is fine. We know that this guy is 100 by 100. So we put him in. Okay, let's center him. Okay, so this is how you hide your solution. All right, so I'm going to select my image. Okay, and I'm going to click on this button here, which is inserting or editing a link. Okay. If you select the browse button, it will take you to your file picker. You select choose file and then go to wherever you just saved that snip. There it is. And you upload. So now when the student clicks, let's open in a new window. When a student clicks on that, then they will find the answers. They will find these answers. So obviously you're going to need to make those answers more complete. Okay, my friend, I think we've done a lot. So I don't want to overload you too much. So I think what I'll leave you to do at this stage is maybe, okay, well, I suppose when you're done, toggle full screen and click save. So I think I'll leave you at this stage, Siko, to just go through this part first of all. Oh, look, we've reached a new level in science. Yay. We're very clever. Okay, I think I'll leave you to go through this part and kind of just finish fixing up this beginning section. Go through the stuff here. I'm waving at my computer, but you can't see me, of course. All of this stuff and see if you're happy. Go through this stuff, see if you're happy. Make any changes you want to. And then maybe you could just finish off this lesson at least. You can see how different it's looking already. You see, it just looks engaging, interesting, right? I think that looks quite nice. And if we go there, then we can see the answer. So I think maybe just finish off this lesson for now. You see there shouldn't be a starter there. This PowerPoint isn't coming up. These should be tasks. These shouldn't be starters. These should just be tasks. You saw how I used the task icon here. There. Those shouldn't be starter activities. That's in the wrong format. So just play around with this first lesson for now, I think. Hey, maybe introduce those PowerPoints. I don't know, just that's the wrong size, you can see. So play around with the lesson, see what you can do, and remember, I'm a WhatsApp away if you need me. Okay, I really hope I've covered everything this time, and I'm so sorry the last video was so useless, and I apologize that my daughter had a few things to say in the middle of our video, but you know how 2-year-olds are. Anyway, so best of luck. I hope you manage to get somewhere with the lesson, and just WhatsApp me if you run into any problems. Okay, my friend, take good care. I'm going to upload this video right now. Cheers.